The World Health Organization reports that about 2.6 million children die of measles each year. Today on Sound Health, our focus is on how to reduce the scourge of measles in Nigeria. I'm Olasumbo. Welcome to the show. Thanks for staying with us. It's still Sound Health on Lagos Television. And today on the show, our focus is on reducing the scourge of measles in Nigeria. And I have me, Dr. Adeyinka Griffin, the National Coordinator for the 2018 Lions Measles Campaign. Welcome to the show, Doctor.
Thank you.
Okay, Doctor, we all know one major symptom of measles is rash. What are the other symptoms and what causes the condition in children and adults?
Well, it's part of the complication of the measles infection, which is a viral infection characterized initially by high fever, cough, catarrh, etc., and resulting in appearance of rashes in the body. And that is when most parents carry their children to the hospital, and doctors will now diagnose it as a measles infection, which has a high mortality rate, especially for children, and between the ages of 9 months and 5 years. It's a preventable, the core point there is that it's a preventable childhood infection.
Okay. The World Health Organization says about 2.6 million children who have not had measles vaccination in the past die of measles every year. Does this condition affect children alone? Does it affect adults too?
Mostly, about 90%. A few adults contact it, and the symptoms are even more severe in such adults. The reason why we are taking part in this campaign in collaboration with the National Primary Healthcare Development Agency of the federal government, which is the major agency responsible for vaccination and other preventable disease, is that measles is a preventable disease through a simple act of vaccination. This vaccination is free, it is free of complications, it is given freely, and it saves lives. That's why we have the slogan, one shot, one life. You give one shot, you save one life. It is safe, and it is free, and it saves lives.
Okay, Doctor, that brings me to my next question. Vaccination is key in the fight against measles. Can there be a relapse, or could there be any complication as a result of vaccination?
Vaccination is very key. As I've said earlier, it is simple, it is free, and it saves lives. And that makes it it prevents the outbreak of this measles disease, which goes with a high rate of morbidity and mortality. Mortality means it ends in the children dying, particularly in poor congested areas. And because of the high mortality rate, we are eager through our foundation to join forces with other stakeholders like the federal government, state governments, local governments, to create more awareness of this disease and, as you have asked, its complications. One of the complications is, of course, because it affects the eye, the children can develop blindness. It affects the lungs, they can develop pneumonia, which can lead to death. Those are the major complications. And of course, death, if not properly treated.
Okay, Dr. Griffin, vaccination is key.
Yeah.
But there are lots of myths and misconceptions about vaccination.
Yes.
How can this notion be changed or erased?
Oh, that is what we are all about. We are not technically involved with giving the vaccines. Those are given by healthcare workers at fixed posts. Our major effort is to create more awareness through advocacy and social mobilization. Advocacy to the major stakeholders like state governments, local government areas, community leaders, churches, mosques, to create this awareness of the complications of this disease, which has a high incidence, particularly in the dry seasons.
Okay.
Has a high incidence and in congested areas. So we create this awareness, encourage the mothers to come out, answer their various questions, as we have said, because it goes a lot along with some myths and misconceptions which prevent mothers from bringing out their children. So our major aim is to encourage them, enlighten them, and ask them remove the fears so that they can easily, readily bring out the children for vaccination.
The statewide vaccination exercise is ongoing. What's your assessment of the campaign so far?
Oh, well, it's been interesting in the sense that we've had various challenges in some communities, particularly the gated ones. They refuse access of health officers to their areas. Some schools, even especially in the elitist areas, have some misconceptions about getting the children vaccinated or revaccinated, and therefore they deny access to their children. And so this is why we take advocacy visits to the community leaders, to local government chairpersons, and to traditional rulers to encourage them, to enlighten them about the fact that this vaccination is free and it is safe. They are concerned mostly about the safety. Maybe in some areas, they believe it even causes sterilization of the children, particularly in the northern parts of the country. And these are the issues which we aim to disabuse with our campaign of social mobilization and advocacy.
The Lagos State government is targeting about 3.6 million children in this campaign. Do you see the state achieving this task?
Well, we'll have to wait and see. What we know from observation is that the officials are working very hard, night and day, to reach these targeted children in spite of all the difficulties. There are areas where initially they will face refusal, but after talking to them, enlightening them, then they then agree. So there will be no block. So those are the issues faced during the process of this important exercise.
Okay. All right, doctor, how can the culture of vaccination be promoted among healthcare workers and children and parents? Because UNICEF says Nigeria has a list of children immunized worldwide. Or encouraged.
Well, this is one of it. You create programs, you invite experts to talk about their experience, to talk about the importance of vaccination, and it's a long process. For instance, this is the fourth time Lions Clubs International Foundation is collaborating with the state governments in bringing about this awareness.
Okay.
You know, removing the fear of parents and the, misgivings of parents regarding immunization and vaccinations generally. So, as long as we with other stakeholders, like the state government, local government, put hands together to create this awareness, I believe eventually we'll get there.
All right, thank you so much, Doctor, for sharing your expertise on how to reduce the scourge of measles in Nigeria.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here with you.
Okay, that has been Dr. Adeyinka Griffin, the National Coordinator of 2018 Lions Measles Campaign on how to reduce the scourge of measles in Nigeria. Sound Health continues with trending and home essentials. Please stay with us. The program continues in a moment. This is where we say thank you on today's episode of Sound Health. Please ensure your children are vaccinated against measles. For comments and inquiries, please send SMS to 0818-815-3695 or follow us on social media at LTV Social, hashtag Sound Health. A sound health is a sound mind. Make healthy living your choice.